Let's catch up to these guys here. All right, I was just out here floating around with these kids on the go-kart. That was fun. Have a fun time, guys. Let's see, I'll go around this thing here. Passing the dog park. Hey, pooches. Let's see where today brings us. Well, thought I'd bring you to Val Vista Lakes because it's another good spot for scenery. It's got the lakes, it's got greenery, all that scenery. Let's go down there. Why? People with their boats. Nobody's ever out on the lake though with their boat. They have a boat. It's never being used. And what's this? A tunnel? Mm-hmm. Val Vista Lakes Green Belt area, so beautiful. Let's see. So my message yesterday got on the political side, but it was fine because I see both as beautiful political, I don't like the word politics, two ideologies and strengths. And so some people have one, some have the other. Anyway, to me, I've also associated them in many ways with the energies, the masculine and feminine energies now. A lot of people don't see things that same way, or I don't know if maybe if I explain it, it makes more sense. So the way I see it is masculine and feminine energies. You know, the masculine is the structured, the order, the get things done and protect and all that, and guard and conserve. And then the feminine energy is the explore, the express, the compassion, the sweet softness. And each of us have a measure of each within us. Some masculine, some feminine, to give us the beautiful balance that we individually are. And everyone's different. Some women are largely masculine and some men are largely feminine. There's nothing wrong with that. You just got to be able to admit it about yourself, and be okay with that. And once society can be okay with that and stops making fun of people for being too much of one or the other, I think that's when that's when it becomes unhealthy. That's when it becomes toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. And it's because it's the people that are unhealed that haven't fully seen the value in the completeness of each individual for exactly where they're at. They're going through an experience. If a man is a little more on the feminine side, he's just experiencing the feminine side of himself more strongly than the other. It may be temporary, it may be permanent. Either way, it doesn't have to matter to us. Each person has something to offer to this beautiful canvas, which is life, and we're each a beautiful brush stroke of color. But what happens is if you live in a society that largely only outwardly accepts men being masculine, women being feminine, then there's still that imbalance, that a dis-ease where, we've seen it where in certain communities, people don't know how to express themselves in a healthy way because they feel like if I'm not masculine like most men, then I must be a woman inside, and vice versa. So, but if we can allow men and women to be their whole selves, exactly how they are, with the beautiful aspects. Like, for instance, if a man grows up and sees in femininity that he really bonds and connects with the concept of being tender and gentle or compassionate for animals, for, maybe he likes babies and he likes being smiley and playful and friendly, and the men mock him and put him down and say that he's, a wuss or whatever. That's what people label toxic masculinity, and I get it. But I mean, those guys, they're just in their unhealed masculine where, they feel too much pressure to be masculine themselves. They don't get to express any feminine side. They may have completely deleted it out of their heart and mind just so they can live out the experience of being a masculine man. And that's fine too. And so I don't want to mock the men that are too macho, so it's just the experience they're having, just like the men that are, have extra feminine side coming through. And same with on the women's side, a tom girl isn't a boy. Fully healthy and healed in herself, just the way she is. But if society doesn't accept it, yeah, of course they're going to have a negative reaction. But not just on the human side. In everything, I like to think about the dualities of, and kind of find the equivalent, because it seems like there's almost always something that can be seen as a little more feminine, a little more masculine. And seeing the two extremes helps you see the spectrum in between and accept and wholly appreciate the entire spectrum. So, light versus dark. Yeah, there's dark, yeah, there's light. Both of them have their place and purpose, but both of them in their extreme, you're blind, you can't see anything. All color and all life exists between the light and the dark, the hot and the cold. So the perfect isn't one extreme or the other, it's the beautiful blend. And same with, light and dark, all the colors in between, hot and cold, all the temperatures in between of where we actually want to be is in there. And so you don't want to say, oh, well, I'm on the hot side, I like hot, hot is better. They both have their place and purpose. So anyway, I love to see this, because when I see the individuals, or the movements. You know, you can tell if they are structured with more of the feminine heart or the masculine structure, and each quality, you know, has its place. So if you want to, you know, save children, the heart to do it is a masculine energy. The action of doing it, the heart to do it is feminine. The action of doing it is masculine. So if we work together, just like with the politics, if the woman sees that people, I say woman, if the feminine person, somebody that's experiencing that feminine value, sees somebody in need and they have compassion, but they can't do anything about it, then they might ask a man or a masculine energy person to help them out with that need. Like, say, bring it to their attention. Hey, this needs to be taken care of. This is being overlooked. And then the force that's always, you know, busy structuring and doing this and that and the other may overlook it. And then, but by working together, she brings it up and he goes, oh, okay. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's true. We'll take care of that. And it becomes more of a priority because the feminine cares. And so when I say he and she too, obviously I'll call me a he because that's how I feel about that whole thing, but I'm okay saying that part of those energies that I have of compassion, tenderness, are more of a she type feminine. I don't feel like it's necessary to assign pronouns, but for me, I just think it's all beautiful because me and my healed masculine and healed feminine can accept that I have all those facets. I can choose to be soft and gentle in one moment and then choose to be focused and firm in the next moment, just because different times and situations call for it. Now, I personally have developed myself to be kind of a 50-50 blend where, I don't know if it's 50-50, but I like to experience my full feminine values too, so I don't lose sight of the beauty of it. And it's mostly so, you know, within other people, I can continue to see them wholly and beautifully. So just when we're interacting with people in the world, whether they feel like they're, you know, one thing or another, or whether they act one way or another, if we can see them as complete whole beings going through an experience from a specific angle, like there's, you know, to experience this world, I'm experiencing it through myself, this human facade that I'm wearing, and I'm only going to see it through my eyes. But when I see somebody else has a whole new experience, whole different experience from me, then, you know, maybe they have a little more masculine or a little more feminine, and so I get to be like, oh, okay, wow, that brings new light to a situation, to an experience. Anyway, it's beautiful. I love all of you and the energy you're in, exactly where you're at, and the experience you're going through. There's a lot more reactivity and negativity when people deny themselves or somebody else the right and validity of the experience that they are having. So I just think that can all chill down, you know. I even myself used to be so much more worked up about it until, you know, I had stronger opinions in one way or another, until I started realizing that life is just an experience to have, and we're all having a different view of it. And I just don't want to give up how beautiful that is and sink in with all the unhealed people just being angry or grumpy about the people that are maybe not in such a fully healed state. you know? Anyway, I think that's today's message. I just really wanted to take you up and down this little green belt here and talk to you about the value of accepting both the masculine and feminine in every individual and yourself. And some people may never be willing to grasp one side or the other about themselves for their whole lifetime. And you know what? That's fine. That's their choice. That's their experience for this life. And we're afraid of people pushing it on us or pushing it on our kids and stuff. And yeah, in the past, that's been more of a thing. And hopefully that's dying down, because we don't need that. But what we do need is acceptance, because the acceptance of somebody's experience is what will help them not be in that place of rejection, reaction, and forcing their movement, because there won't have to be one, because we all love them and accept them and see them for who they are. So I love you. I accept you for exactly who you are. Stay with me. But wait, there's more. I just remembered. The reason I wanted to bring up the masculine and feminine when I was talking about politics is because if you think about it, back in the past, masculine ruled the world. The masculine energy ruled the political landscape and the general society. And it was good that they did, because we needed the brute force to get through the wars. I mean, unfortunately, the wars was the unhealthy part of the masculine energy ruling the world. And obviously sometimes the feminine energy of the reason why the wars are happening, or the reason why they got support, was because of unhealed feminine following the narrative of whoever wants the wars to happen. Hey. And so in the past there were wars because of unhealthy masculine, unhealed energy. And then there was more dominance and oppression by men, which caused the female liberation movement, in which the women thought, you know what, masculine energy has been messing everything up, so it's about time we try our hand at running the world. And so if you think about it, if you look back a couple decades, it really has been making a shift towards the feminine energy running the show. So with the feminine energy running the show, there was a lot more care toward, or a lot more push towards compassion and acceptance and inclusivity and diversity and stuff. So everyone felt included. Nobody felt left out. Feelings were taken care of and everything. And this shift, as much as some people don't want to believe, had to happen. This experience of going through a couple decades of feminine empowerment through the world, just taking over and doing things a little extreme, a little overdoing it, because they were reacting to how the men had run it before, where it was too extreme and unhealthy. And so now they bounced back. They had to push their experience through and push it on us. And now that they did that and we experienced that, we're finally bringing it back. But this time, if you notice, it's much more of a healthy balance. It's much more of a cooperation. Hasn't really taken place yet. So if you're not really looking through the cracks, you're not going to see too much of it yet. But it's really there, and it's happening. The healing is happening. Women are starting to forgive the masculine energy and see its value. And men are starting to become more whole and healed in their masculine energy, to where they're not oppressing women with it, and they see the value in the feminine energy. And so I think with the mix of those two efforts, the men trying to see women's value and not put them down, not keep dogging on the feminine world, the female society, and give them their props, honor them, appreciate them, and vice versa. The women are starting to be like, you know what, I like when there's a healthy, healed man around. I like the value that they bring. It is something that they excel at more than I. And so I want to honor that. And this is the shift that we've been wanting for a long time, and it's only now starting to come about. But to not underappreciate the fact of that we had to go through those experiences. We had to experience men and masculinity oppressing women and femininity so they would bounce back and push to become a more powerful force. That couldn't happen until modern days and technology and conveniences, and then the women could run the show. But yes, it was done in an extreme where it was taken too far with the corruption, a lot of corrupt men that jumped up in there and helped those women feel so empowered that they can just flip everything on its head and don't worry about this and that and the other. Just take the power that you deserve. And it wasn't done in a healthy, loving, accepting, complete way. It was done in a reactionary way, and that's fine. They had to go through that. But now we're coming out the other side and believe that we're gonna come together now. Men and women, feminine and masculine, are gonna start really learning to value the traits of the other and allow whoever wants to experience their life through masculine to play their part and do it. And those people that had never felt comfortable experiencing it, whether masculine or feminine, they're going to feel more comfortable and empowered doing it because it'll be coming from a healed place. And for some people, they might completely reverse course if they felt like they were doing this because they deserve, they earned this right, but they might stop. If I'm an empowered woman, instead they might back up and go, you know what, I was empowered, it was great, I know that I'm capable of it now, but now I want to step back and be a mother, or in some way be more feminine. And men have been sitting back and throwing up their hands, letting their women take control. And I've experienced a lot of men in that case where they just wanted to give up on relationships, on women and stuff. But if they can heal their ability to value women, they don't have to give it all up. They can start cherishing it again and step back into their whatever masculine role they choose. And everywhere in between. For each person, masculine, feminine, they choose where they want to be. And if we support them because they're not pushing it on us, and we're all working to heal together, I don't see the problem. Check out this garden here. The garden. Locals grow, I guess. Flowers, looks like some veggies too. Interesting. Playground. See? This place got everything. It's fancy. That's fancy. So, appreciate you guys joining me again for another beautiful day out witnessing the world around me and the people in it. Thank you for witnessing me as I do it.